for teaching, right? So the swing comes down to the hip flexor. We lean forward, trust the swing has got you, and then walk your hands down to the ground. So in forward folds, we're going to keep our feet on the ground at first. What we're going to do is keep our toes tucked under and drive our heels down energetically. They may not touch, and we don't need them to touch, but we definitely want to keep that groundedness in the pose so our upper body has the freedom to really hang and stretch. So what I like to do first, clasp the hands behind the head. My feet are about hip distance apart, just a little FYI, a little wider. Then narrow is okay too, but you have a little bit more stability to come wide. So pull down on your back of the neck with the chin tucked into the chest, okay? Shift a little from side to side. And again, the little bit of pressure that's happening in the hip flexors is really, really good for balancing the hips. It's just a little intense for people at first. But we keep the swing nice and bunched up. Okay? Clasp the elbows and try hanging that way. Your arms might touch the ground. And then just pulse onto your toes and then drop it back further into your heels. So you're going back and forth. Just tiny little pulses. So I usually like to do the undulations when I'm in the poses. It helps loosen up the connective tissue in the body more than just kind of like sticking the pose, if that makes sense. It's just my own personal style, but I definitely tend to preference it. So you can do what feels right for you. The Iyengar people are like rolling over. They're like, what are you doing? And that's okay. So we have the last one of the forward fold is to grab the ankles and pull your heart towards your knees. Notice I didn't say head. Your head is in line with your heart, and pull your heart towards your knees. You can round in and pull your head towards your knees. It's just a totally different pose. So you can keep the nice flat back, long body, and pull in. This, of course, would be the most intense version. So let's try swaying it out. So bend one knee and then the other. Walk it out. See how that feels. Really good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to let ourselves float. Come onto your forearms, let your feet rise about 6 inches, and come into a folded leaf. So folded leaf is the same term as they do in acro yoga. And we're just going to basically let ourselves pulse a little bit here. So let your feet come up, no more than hip distance, and then pulse back down, toes almost touching the ground. And just feel what that's like. Really good. So we're just playing in the space. We can even pull ourselves forward and back with our arms a little bit. We want to feel like we're completely suspended. The swing is completely got us, right? Really good. Yeah, just let yourself play and explore. We're going to do this with wide legs now. So make sure your legs do not go higher than your hips, Hannah. It's very experienced, but still, we're going to keep it really mellow. Okay, cool. So here, what we're going to do, so we're just pulling ourselves forward and back. We're gonna play with going side to side now. So again, real basic, but people love this stuff in class. So we're going to try to do a toe touch on each side. Toe touch, toe touch. Really gentle. This is like preparing us to do our ollies in some of the more dynamic poses. It's okay. You're like, so yeah, just keep the spine nice and long. So most people, let's see. So go like this. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, you got it. You're almost there. Almost, yeah. Towards the toes is fine. And then what we're going to do is what I call swimming it out. Is you're actually going to bend the knees and swim from side to side. Now notice that your butt is highly engaged in this process. This ain't no joke. Oh, yeah. Do this for a while and you're like, oh my God, you know, how did you get so strong? I was like, well, I was playing. And then 6 hours went by and yeah. It's an accidental workout is what I call it. Because we're not trying to work out, it just happens. So we're going to try the wide straddle forward fold from here one more time. Just to give the legs a break. So land it. Feet pointing forward, grab your ankles and pull down, and then you'll feel like this intensity in the hip flexors, right? So only go as far as it's comfortable because you'll get used to that pressure there. I think it feels really good. Other people hate that feeling, but you'll get used to it. It's loosening up all that fascia,
all that thickness that happens in the hips. Now we're going to come into our down dog sequence, okay? So again, like Keon asked, this is what I do every day, this whole sequence. And that's what...
I have a quick question. When I'm doing this one, it doesn't, it starts to head up into my waist instead of my hip flexors. Is that true for others?
You're used to bending at your waist. Very few people are used to bending at your hip flexors. So if you keep that nice deep groove there, it's locked in. It's actually under your hip bone. As soon as it slides on top of your hip bone, it's a totally different situation. Yeah, some people have trouble keeping it in that little spot until they learn how to bend at the hips, but we have to learn the pivot points and the leverage of the body, and then it gets way easier. Okay? Yeah, for now, if it slides up, just kind of wiggle it back down. You can also lean forward a little bit more. Yeah, that'll keep it in that spot. So now let's come into our down dog variation here. So I like to pull my mat forward so my hands are on my mat, my feet might not be. So let's just do that. Walk your feet back. Again, you're on the balls of your feet, energetically pulling your heels down. And we're in a down dog, but notice how different it is. With you get your own personal assistant pulling up, so your sit bones are lifting towards the sky, and you're driving your heels down to get the nice long stretch through the hamstrings, through the calves, okay? And then your arms are down dog arms, so your heart is dropping towards the floor. Press strongly into your hands, even though there's no weight on your shoulders. And then what I want you to do is it's going to be like cat, cow, and the down dog got together, and I call it the cat's meow. So we inhale, we pull ourselves forward, arch, lift your right leg up, and then exhale, pull that into the chest and squeeze. Inhale up, arch, beautiful. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale and lift. Good. Exhale, squeeze. So, Keon, next time you inhale, look up at me. Inhale, arch. Yeah. Onto your fingertips. Pull with the front body. Yes. Exhale, squeeze. Really good. Last one, inhaling up and arch. Exhale, just bring that foot back down and walk it out. Just shift from side to side a little bit. Give yourself a break. Just notice how there's way more play in the down dog than normal. And then we're going to inhale, left leg up, arch and open. I bring my legs slightly out to the side, and this is going to keep the swing from sliding. It's just something that you kind of learn how to do as you go along. It's not going to slide too far, but you can feel it's like, oh, it's going somewhere. So inhale, arch. Exhale, pull it in. Use your core. 5 on this side. Arching and opening. Exhale, squeeze. Make sure you get right into the very center of your navel to bring out all the organs, and then arch and open and lengthen the front of the spine. So we do really, I take my time working some of these traditional yoga poses to really get the maximum benefit out of them instead of just like flinging around, you know. I slow it down and create a little bit more of the therapeutics with some of these. Even though it's a really simple pose, if you really pull your fingertips forward, you're really engaging the front of your spine, and it's a lot of work. If you try to kind of like just hold yourself there, then it is a lot of strength. So you can depending on the level, the people you're doing, you can go a little bit deeper with them and actually do, you know, some more core training and do that whole thing. I really don't particularly love it in yoga, where they do kind of like the soldier march, but you can do lots of core from here too. And I'm just telling you the variations as we go along. Okay? So cool. So after doing the one-legged lifts, the cat's meows, we're going to lift, let's go back to the original leg. Wrap your right foot X outside in. Right? Press it straight. Beautiful. So let's just first come into a one-legged down dog here. Press back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to walk our foot forward, walk your hands back, and try coming into a standing split. Center your foot a little bit more. Just notice how much deeper you can come into the splits here. Try dropping down. I don't know how many of you guys do standing splits on a daily basis, but they're not that great for me. So this makes them way more interesting and accessible.
So the foot that's up in the air in the swing
Yeah.
Are you pointing the foot and stretching it straight, like towards the ceiling?
Yeah, yeah. It should be wrapped around and really just bring your head down towards the standing leg, and that's what creates the split.
Okay.
Yeah. So just try going a little bit deeper, see what that feels like. See, try lifting your hands up. You might slide away, but see what it's like to do no hands and just play a little bit in the space, just for fun. But you can kind of like test your balance and play around a little bit more. If you want to go into the full pose, you can clasp your hands behind your head. Usually I just let myself swing then. This is going to happen anyhow. Right? So in every one of the poses we can play a little bit more. Okay? So you can start out with just the one-legged down dog, or bring them into standing splits, or arm balances. So arm balances are a little bit tricky. Okay? Of course, that would be more advanced. Okay, so from here, the last thing I want to do with the one-legged down dog is do the same thing where we're going to lift and pull in, lift and pull in. Nice. So more core strengthening, right? More arm engagement, kind of preparation for handstands. Beautiful. Lift and pull in. It's endless. Honestly, I just want to give you guys like 3 in each one, so it's not too overwhelming, right? Okay, so let's come back through center. We're going to switch sides, so neutralize the spine in a down dog. Walk it out, take your time. Inhale, left leg comes out, the hook's on the outside. One-legged down dog. Hang out here for a few breaths. Make sure that feels good. Yep, nice straight leg. And then walk your head in towards your shin. Walk your hands back, whichever direction you want to go to get the full expression. Only go as good as it feels for today. You always can go deeper later. Just kind of play with the breath. So I usually pulse and inhale and lift a little bit, and exhale, go back in. And that usually helps me go deeper as well. And then if you can, you're going to release your hands. You're going to practice balancing. You can clasp your hands behind your back. Come into the full pose.
So I feel
Completely
like
unnecessary, by the way. Only if you want to have some fun with it.
when I had my other foot in the swing, that I could do, maybe my foot was in the swing different, but I felt like I could point my toe, and now with the left one, it feels like if I do that, it's going to fall out of the swing. So it's like automatically flexed.
Well, just keep the foot flexed then.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really about how much you come down. That puts tension on that leg that's wrapped. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's usually what it is. Like if you're just,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Good. Good question. Anybody else? So is everybody good in this one?
Mm-hmm.
Let's try a twist. Keep that left leg hooked. Balance on your right hand and twist open. You can always grab for the opposite swing if you want to go a little deeper. Beautiful. Other side.
Other side?
Yep. Grab for the opposite swing.
Oh.
Yeah. Beautiful. Come back through center. So one more time. Let's try that twist because we didn't do the twist right. Neutralize the spine only if you want to. Try hooking. Plant your left hand. Twist. Straight up and down is totally fine. If you want to reach back and grab for the other end of the swing. When I say other, it's not the easy side. Good. Beautiful. You're doing great. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is come down